What happens when we're forgotten? When the last person who remembers us is gone, do we disappear completely? Coco is about a boy named Miguel who dreams of becoming a musician in a family that has banned music for generations. On Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead, he accidentally enters the land of the dead and discovers the truth about his family's past. Released in 2017 by Pixar, this film explores memory, family legacy, and the connections between generations. It's visually stunning and emotionally powerful, using Mexican culture and traditions to tell a universal story about how we honor those who came before us. It asks important questions about following your dreams versus honoring family, about forgiveness across generations, and about what it means to truly be remembered. Welcome to Picture Mavericks. Today we're exploring what makes Coco so moving, how it handles themes of memory and legacy, and why this story about death is really about the importance of living fully. Let's begin. Miguel lives in a Mexican village with his extended family of shoemakers. He dreams of becoming a musician like his idol, Ernesto de la Cruz, a famous singer who died decades ago. But music is forbidden in Miguel's family because his great-great-grandfather abandoned his wife and daughter to pursue music, never returning. Miguel's great-grandmother Coco, now elderly and losing her memory, is the last living connection to that abandoned wife. The family treasures her, but watches sadly as she fades. On Dia de los Muertos, families build ofrendas, altars with photos of deceased loved ones, believing the dead can visit if remembered. Miguel's family places photos of everyone except the great-great-grandfather, whose face was torn from the only picture they had. Miguel discovers what he believes is proof that Ernesto de la Cruz was his great-great-grandfather. Desperate to enter a talent show despite his family's objections, he steals de la Cruz's guitar from his tomb. This action curses him, making him invisible to the living while able to see the dead. Miguel enters the land of the dead, a vibrant world where deceased family members exist as skeletons as long as the living remember them. He meets his deceased relatives who want to send him home, but with the condition that he gives up music forever. Miguel refuses and runs, searching for de la Cruz to get his blessing without conditions. He meets Hector, a skeleton desperate to cross to the living world but unable because no one places his photo on an ofrenda. Hector agrees to help Miguel reach de la Cruz in exchange for Miguel placing Hector's photo on his family's altar. As they journey together, Miguel learns that Hector has a daughter in the living world who's forgetting him. If she forgets completely, Hector will experience the final death, disappearing forever. That daughter is Coco. The truth emerges. Hector, not de la Cruz, was the talented musician and Miguel's real great-great-grandfather. De la Cruz murdered Hector and stole his songs, building fame on someone else's work. Hector tried returning to his family, but never made it because de la Cruz poisoned him. Coco explores memory as the force that keeps people alive beyond death. The film's central concept is that we experience two deaths. The first is physical death. The second is when no one living remembers us. This idea transforms death from an ending into an ongoing relationship between the living and the dead, where memory becomes sacred responsibility. Miguel's family maintains their connection to ancestors through ofrendas, stories, and traditions. These practices aren't just sentimental. They're acts of love that literally keep their family members existing in the land of the dead. Forgetting isn't just sad, but has real consequences. This speaks to how cultures maintain continuity across generations. The stories we tell, the traditions we preserve, the memories we share, these things connect us to people we never met, but who shaped our existence. Breaking those connections means losing part of ourselves. The ban on music in Miguel's family shows how trauma echoes through generations. Mama Imelda's pain at being abandoned led her to forbid music, and that prohibition shaped everyone who came after. Her hurt became everyone's restriction. The film explores how one person's wound can become multiple generations' limitation. Hector's story reveals the cost of that ban. He wasn't the villain Imelda believed. He tried returning to his family, but was murdered before he could. The misunderstanding meant Imelda carried anger for decades while Hector faced being forgotten by the daughter he died trying to reach. Both suffered from not knowing the truth. This highlights how family stories can be incomplete or wrong, how assumptions about the past can shape the present in damaging ways. Miguel's journey is about uncovering truth and correcting the narrative that's defined his family. De la Cruz represents false legacy. He's remembered gloriously, but his fame is stolen. His music belongs to Hector. His image as a romantic hero masks that he murdered his friend. The film suggests that memory should preserve truth, not comfortable lies. Being remembered for something you didn't do is hollow. Miguel's dream of music puts him in conflict with family expectations. He wants to honor his gift, but his family wants him to honor their traditions. The film doesn't present this as simple. Both sides have validity. Family connection matters. Individual passion matters. Finding balance is the challenge. The resolution comes when Miguel realizes he doesn't need De la Cruz's blessing. He has his real family, including Hector. But Hector is fading because Coco is forgetting him. Miguel must return to the living world and help Coco remember her father before it's too late. This creates the film's most emotional sequence. Miguel sings "Remember Me" to Coco, the song Hector wrote for her before leaving. The melody unlocks her memories. She remembers her papa, pulling out letters and a photo she's kept hidden for decades. Hector is saved from the final death. This moment shows memory's power. Coco was slipping away, but music reached her. The song her father wrote specifically for her, that she'd carried in her heart for decades, brought everything back. It demonstrates that even when memory fades, love can persist in ways we don't fully understand. The family reconciles with their past. They learn the truth about Hector and begin honoring him properly. They place his photo on the ofrenda. Music returns to the family, not as abandonment, but as connection to Hector's legacy. The band that shaped generations lifts because understanding replaces hurt. Imelda's journey involves forgiveness. She spent decades angry at Hector for abandoning them. Learning he died trying to return changes everything. She has to release that anger and grieve properly for what they lost. The film shows that forgiveness isn't forgetting, but understanding more completely. The ending shows Miguel a year later, playing music with his family's blessing. Coco has passed, but she's now in the land of the dead with Hector. The family celebrates Dia de los Muertos together, living and dead united by memory and love. Miguel has integrated his passion with his family's values. The film's message is that remembering our ancestors isn't about living in the past. It's about carrying forward what matters while building our own lives. That honoring family and following dreams aren't opposites when we understand where we come from and what that means. The animation is breathtaking. The land of the dead glows with warm oranges and purples, creating beauty in a place associated with loss. The living world feels earthy and grounded. The contrast emphasizes two worlds connected by love and memory. The character animation makes skeletons expressive and sympathetic. Their faces convey emotion despite being skulls. The animators found humanity in bones, which is essential for the story to work emotionally. The voice performances bring warmth and depth. Miguel sounds genuinely passionate about music and loving toward his family. Hector sounds charming but desperate, hiding pain with humor. Imelda sounds fierce but wounded. Each character feels complete through vocal choices. The music is integral and beautiful. "Remember Me" works as both a cheerful pop song and a tender lullaby. The same melody carries different meanings in different contexts. The film uses music to express emotion words can't capture. The 105-minute runtime allows the story full emotional development. The pacing gives each revelation room to land. We spend time with Miguel and Hector building their relationship, so the truth hits harder when revealed. The film's representation of Mexican culture is respectful and authentic. It was made with cultural consultants ensuring traditions were portrayed accurately. Dia de los Muertos isn't explained as exotic, but shown as meaningful practice connecting living and dead. The humor balances the heavy themes. Skeleton physical comedy provides levity. Character interactions create warmth. The film lets audiences laugh while dealing with death and memory, making the experience rich rather than oppressive. The visual details reward attention. Background characters have their own stories. The Land of the Dead contains thoughtful world building. Every frame shows care and intention. Coco offers a profound meditation on memory, family, and what survives us after death. Miguel's journey teaches that knowing where we come from helps us understand where we're going. That family history shapes us whether we know it or not. That uncovering truth even painful truth, allows healing impossible when living with misunderstanding. Hector's story shows that being forgotten is a fate worse than death. That memory is an act of love we owe those who came before. That the final death only comes when no one speaks our name or tells our story. The film doesn't romanticize death, but treats it realistically within its fantastical premise. People die. That's painful and inevitable. But relationships can continue through memory, tradition, and love passed down generations. Coco's character represents the bridge between past and present. She's the last person who remembers Hector directly. When she goes, that direct memory dies too. But Miguel now carries Hector's story, showing how memory transfers across generations, changing form but persisting. The family's healing comes from truth and forgiveness. Imelda's anger protected her from grief, but also imprisoned her in hurt. Learning what really happened allows her to grieve properly and remember Hector with love rather than bitterness. For young viewers, the film introduces concepts about death, memory, and ancestry in accessible ways. The colorful land of the dead makes death less frightening. The emphasis on memory teaches that love continues beyond physical presence. For adults, especially those who've lost loved ones, the film offers comfort. The idea that remembering someone keeps them alive in meaningful ways provides purpose to grief. That telling stories about the deceased honors them and maintains connection. The film's cultural specificity strengthens rather than limits its universality. Dia de los Muertos traditions ground the story in real practice, but every culture has ways of honoring the dead and maintaining memory across generations. The specifics are Mexican, but the themes resonate everywhere. What makes Coco extraordinary is how it makes death beautiful without dismissing its pain. The land of the dead is vibrant and joyful, but separation from loved ones still hurts. Miguel misses Coco even knowing she's with Hector now. The film holds both realities simultaneously. The song, Remember Me, becomes the film's emotional core. Hector wrote it for his daughter, a promise he'd return. De la Cruz twisted it into a flashy anthem about his own greatness. When Miguel sings it to Coco as Hector intended, quietly and lovingly, the song reclaims its true meaning. Love across separation, a parent's promise to a child. Coco reminds us that we're links in chains connecting past and future. That the people who came before us deserve remembering because they made us possible. That the traditions and stories we carry forward matter not as burdens, but as gifts. The film argues that truly being remembered means being known, not idealized. Hector isn't perfect. He made choices that hurt people even with good intentions. But he's remembered completely now, for his talent and love and mistakes. That full memory honors him more than any false legend. The image of multiple generations gathered around an ofrenda, living and dead united in celebration, captures the film's heart. Death doesn't end relationships if we refuse to forget. Memory is the thread connecting us across time, and maintaining that connection is how we honor both the dead and ourselves. This has been Picture Mavericks. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.